I want to talk about when perfect love failed. F.A.I.L is an acronym, F-A.I.L. Here are several things that show that the perfect love is failing. The first F is 3 different F's. Fixing, fawning, and fighting. If there is a lot of fixing, fawning, and fighting. I talk about that in a separate recording. Listen to that recording. The title, When a Woman Fails in Love. I'm sorry if that was a bit of clickbait for you. Hopefully the content is worth it. As a woman, you may come out of feminine energy and go into these F's. They don't work. They build like a snowball, getting bigger as it rolls downhill, squishing you at the bottom. Fixing, fawning, and fighting. A is aggressiveness rather than assertiveness. But when there's a lot of aggression rather than assertiveness, fixing, fawning, and fighting are forms of that. When a woman is leaning forward, doing a lot of calling, doting, a lot of giving that wasn't requested. This is going to feel aggressive. You don't think of this as aggressive if you're in that situation as a woman. You think of yourself as being helpful and being loving because these are the things that you want. These are the things that you would want from him. The problem is doing them for him doesn't get him to do them for you. And by doing them for him, you're pushing him away. This is the powerful revelation of masculine and feminine energy. The things that you want done for you, when you do them for him, he doesn't have the same feeling about it. Problem is, men aren't as communicative. They may not tell you. They're just going to pull away. They're going to rebel and resist. They might get angry. They might fight with you. They might seem irritable. They're going to do all these things. A lot of them, unfortunately, are not necessarily assertive. Assertiveness, not aggression, but assertiveness for men is something I encourage them to couple with pursuit. If you're in my perfect love framework, you can find the bonus P, the 6th P for men, pacing. I tie it in with pursuit. Men pacing the relationship as they're pursuing includes being assertive about pacing, getting ahead of things. Not only are they moving it forward, they're moving it forward at their pace in a way that is open, honest, and clear, that creates a sense of safety for the woman. This is not something they do perfectly. This is why we have feminine energy R's, things you can do to create space and sharing your inner landscape, your feelings, so that he knows what you're needing. This is sharing your inner landscape in a way that a masculine energy man can hear you. This is my step 3 in my 5 steps to healing love for women. The ways that work, that men can hear and feel drawn to you. So, pacing the relationship in an assertive way is his setting boundaries in a way that works for him and for you. It's going to feel good to him, emotionally mature for both of you, that he is able to speak his boundaries aloud. For example, if he tells you ahead of time before you feel anxiety that he is feeling a need for cave time, if he makes it playful, I encourage men to talk about cave time. Make it about them. I'm feeling a need for cave time. It's a great masculine energy visual for a woman. I'm going into my cave, still loving you in there, right? I'm doing my thing, and I'll be back out. I'm not going anywhere. A really emotionally mature man is going to be able to communicate in this way assertively, get ahead of it, make it about himself, not a rejection, not make her guess and wonder so that she gets anxious and she starts pursuing and she starts asking, and it becomes this negative cycle. A healthy, emotionally mature man is going to get ahead of this. Is this easy? No. Women have a lot of intuition. They tend to pick these things up quicker, unfortunately, for men. But a man who is working on himself, any man who's in this program is looking for things like this, is going to try and get ahead of it. Notice when he's needing this. Even if he doesn't notice right away, when he catches it, sharing assertively. Pacing the relationship, coupled with his pursuit, is going to include assertiveness. And this is going to help the woman to relax a little bit. She also has responsibility for caring for herself when there is space, so that it's not always a problem. His part of this in the perfect love framework is pacing, assertiveness, boundary setting in advance, doing it in a way that is focused on him and not space from her, reassuring her at the same time that he is setting the boundary. Always a great thing to do with a woman you care about. You may not want to do it right now because you're feeling annoyed with her because you're needing space and you haven't been getting it. Suck it up long enough to say, I am not going anywhere. I'm needing some cave time. I will reach out to you when I'm ready. Better yet, give her a time. If you're feeling like you can do that and not feel trapped or smothered, I'll reach out to you later today, or I'll reach out to you tomorrow. You need this. You're letting her know when you'll be back. Using words and language that don't have to do with her, that have to do with you. I'll reach out to you when I'm ready, if that's the best you've got. Getting your own needs met. This is a great thing. Ladies, assertiveness around their own boundaries will help you to relax, feel loved, feel safe, feel trust in them. If the assertiveness is not there in the man, you can't fill that space as a woman with it, because that feels like pursuit. You're back in that dynamic again of pursuing and he's distancing. It's not something that you want to feel. Your insecurity increases. That's the I in F.A.I.L. Insecurity. Lots of feelings of insecurity. That is a sign that you're likely doing a lot of pursuing. You're likely doing a lot of leaning forward. You're aggressive and not realizing it. You feel like you're being assertive, doting, or loving. He's feeling it as aggression, pushing and pressuring. Insecurity is a sign that you're in that space. The last big fail is leaning forward. If you're doing a lot of leaning forward, this can be physically leaning forward. That's the first sign of it. Are you moving toward him? Are you going into the room where he is? Are you leaning forward when you're talking to him so that he'll feel your energy? Are you in his face, in his space? Even my beautiful, lovely young daughter was getting feedback at one point. She's turned it around, but she homeschooled for a period of time. She had a lot of women in her life, but not a lot of men. She wasn't used to boys. She would make friends with boys and get this feedback from them, even at a young age, that she was standing too close to them. It felt too close. Can you move? Can you get out of my face? And this was happening for a period of time. I talked to her about leaning forward and leaning back. I figured you're never too young. She's 7. I talked about not pursuing boys. She had some issues. A boy hit her one time because she was chasing him around on the playground. She thought she was playing a game. He didn't. Her girlfriends play this game all the time. Totally fine. She's a girl's girl. Has a lot of little girlfriends. No problem. But with the boys, turned around and hit her in the face. Not okay. Of course, we had to talk to the principal. He got in trouble, but she also learned. I said, what have you learned? She said, don't pursue boys. That doesn't mean that she's at fault. It doesn't mean she's blaming herself. It's just let them come to you. Give boys space. Watching her at a young age, how boys and girls interact, tells me that there are biological differences, things that are true from the very beginning. She's practiced that and she's gotten along better with boys ever since. She's learned this about boys at age 7. This is why I don't embrace gender wars. This is not being a doormat or teaching her to be a doormat. She did handle it. She stood up for herself. She told a teacher. He got in trouble. She hasn't had a problem with him since. She avoids him. That's great. But she also learned, don't pursue boys. Don't chase them around. They take it differently. It feels like aggression. They're built differently than us. Leaning forward is all of those forms of physical moving toward the man. It can tie back into what I talked about with aggression, your actions and choices, reaching out, calling in. You may be wondering if you're failing in these ways. If I don't do all these things, what's going to happen? What's it going to do? The relationship's it's just going to die. He's going to fall away and disappear. I'm so sorry you're feeling this. If you are, I know how this feels. We all have some attachment traumas, and a lot of us have rejection sensitivity, and for very good reasons. The problem is it doesn't work in emotionally mature adult love. Please check out my Trauma Healing Tools collection within Tools for Days. So many great tools to heal this attachment trauma, one little easy moment at a time, without 20 years of therapy. I know how it feels. No judgment. It just doesn't work. I can assure you that the man for you, who is your match, who is able and willing and wanting to give you the perfect love you crave and desire, is not going to fall away. If he is that man, he's going to be relieved. He's going to start coming towards you. He feels the space. He feels like there's room for him to do so. He will move toward you. And if you're also practicing my 5 R's and all the other feminine energy work to heal yourself from the inside out, grow your world, make it bigger, grow your friendship, grow the number of activities that you enjoy, all of those things, and you're receptive and open and responsive to his pursuit, this will work great. If he's not the man for you, you're going to get comfortable with that because you're insecure and unhappy in this relationship already because he's not the man for you, and you're filling that space with things that are growing your level of insecurity and draining your energy. Or you're learning how to lean back and pour elsewhere, and you're making yourself open to a love that does work, either with him or someone else. So this is the absolute best case scenario. There is no other option. Give it a try. Let me know how this goes. If you are feeling like you're failing, I don't mean that as a criticism or judgment. This can be turned around. Feel free to book a call if you want one-on-one intimate practice turning this around most quickly. That's the quickest way. Or take a look at my Perfect Love Framework. Check out my Perfect Love Framework for men and women. This will show you how you can feel good in a relationship and what you can be on the lookout for in a man. I hope this has been helpful, and let me know if you have questions.